bar was almost empty, just me and a guy at the end. He looked like he wanted to talk. I looked like I needed a drink. Neither of us moved. The waitress wiped the same table 3 times in 10 minutes. The TV was on without sound. Some baseball game, nobody was watching outside. The rain kept finding reasons to stay. Some nights don't break your heart, they just sit beside you quiet until closing time. Some nights don't break your heart, they just remind you of everything you thought you left behind. I saw a woman laugh near the doorway for a second. I thought it was you, not because she looked like you, 'cause I remembered what it felt like to hear your voice in a room before everything became a memory. Funny what loneliness does. It starts connecting strangers to people who aren't there. I used to think healing would arrive all at once, like sunlight through a window. Instead it comes in pieces. A better morning, a good conversation, one afternoon where you don't think about them. And then a night like this happens, and you're back at the beginning. Some nights don't break your heart, they just sit beside you quiet until you can't ignore them anymore. Some nights don't break your heart, they just open old doors you forgot were still unlocked. That old car, if you still leave lights on in rooms you're not using, if you still talk with your hands when you're excited, if somebody knows those things now, the little things, the things that mattered most. Some nights don't break your heart, they just stay with you like an old song you never stop knowing. Some nights don't break your heart, they just pull up a chair and sit across from you until the last drink is gone. The guy at the end of the bar left first. The waitress turned off the lights. The rain was still falling, and somehow that felt about right.
Don't come back. Don't come back. I finally moved your things away, closed every box, packed every day. The house feels empty, the way it should. At least that's what I tell myself. Don't come back as a memory. Don't come back when I'm almost free. Don't come back at closing time, when the room gets dark and you're on my mind. Heard your name across a crowd, felt my chest break without a sound. It wasn't you, I knew that fast, but for a second you came back. That's the worst part. You don't even have to be here anymore. Don't come back as a memory. Don't come back when I'm trying to sleep. Don't come back inside old songs, making me wonder where we went wrong. I don't miss every fight, I don't miss every goodbye, I don't miss the way it ended, I miss the way you looked at me. Sometimes the moon hits the room the same way it used to, and for a moment nothing changed. You're still here saying my name. Don't come back as a memory. Don't come back when I'm almost free. Don't
unless you're staying. Don't come back as a memory. Please don't come back. It's raining again. It's raining again. And I don't know where to go. I walked 3 blocks past your street, told myself I wouldn't look, but there it was, the light in your window, still on, still on. Maybe you're awake, maybe you're not. Maybe you forgot me, maybe you forgot. But that light in your window keeps pulling me back, keeps pulling me back. Conversations in different cars, but every road turns into you. Every silence does too. I don't miss the ending, I miss the way it felt before. Maybe you're asleep, maybe somebody else calls that place home. But that light in your window keeps pulling me back, keeps pulling me back. I said I'm fine, I said I'm good, I said it so many times I almost believed I would. If you saw me now, would you know my face? Or am I just another shadow you erased? That light, that light, that light in your window still burns, still burns, still burns. Ah!
seems quiet tonight. Too quiet tonight. I picked up my phone, put it back down, walked through the house, sat on the ground. Nothing felt wrong, nothing felt right. Just another long, empty night. There's nothing left to say, nothing left to say. We already said it all anyway. Nothing left to say, nothing left to say. Still I hear your voice every day. I know your door isn't mine. I know your life moved on in time, but some part of me missed the train. Still standing here in the rain. I thought time would do more than this. There's nothing left to say, nothing left to say. No words left alive anyway. Nothing left to say, nothing left to say. Still I talk to you when I'm alone. Maybe I wanted one last fight, one last reason, one last night. Maybe I wanted anything at all, instead of watching everything fall. Nothing left to say, nothing left to say, nothing left to say. But my heart keeps talking anyway. Nothing left to say, nothing left to say, nothing left to say. Yet every road still leads your way. Nothing left to say, nothing left to say, nothing left to say. It's quiet tonight, too quiet tonight. And
and somehow you're still here. Rain again. Same old rain. I woke up tired, went back to bed. Too many thoughts inside my head. The room looks smaller than yesterday. Nothing changed anyway. It's the same old rain, the same old rain, falling on my window, calling your name. The same old rain, the same old rain. Everything moves on, but it stays. Picture's gone from the wall, but sometimes I swear I see it all. Your coat by the door, your voice upstairs. Funny how a memory still lives there. I don't know if I miss you or who I was with you. It's the same old rain, the same old rain, falling through the darkness, all the same. The same old rain, the same. Keep getting older, it never changes. I met new people, learned new streets, laughed a little, tried to sleep, but every road ends the same. Back to this house, back to your name. Maybe you're happy, maybe that's true. Maybe the world makes sense to you. But here tonight, I can't pretend. Some things leave, but never end. The same old rain, the same old rain, still falling softly remain. The same old rain, the same old rain. Rain again, same old rain, still falling. Late again, so late again. The clock says 2, maybe 3. I stopped looking, honestly. The city's asleep, the streets are still, but my mind keeps running against my will. If you call tonight, I'll answer. If you call tonight, I'll stay. I won't ask why, I won't ask where you've been. Just don't disappear again. I told my friends I'm moving on. That's the kind of lie that sounds strong, but every room feels too wide since you took your side of life. Some nights I almost forget. Then something small remembers for me. If you call tonight, I'll answer. If you call tonight, I'll stay. I won't ask questions, I won't make demands. Just let me hear you again. Looks like yours, every knock becomes your door. Every stranger, for 1 second, turns into you. If you call tonight, I'll answer. If you call tonight, I'll stay. The world can wait till the morning light. If you call tonight, If you call tonight, if you call tonight, I'll stay late again, so late again, and I'm still listening. I saw you yesterday, not in a dream, not in some memory. Actually saw you across a coffee shop on the other side of town. You looked up, I looked away, then looked back. You were still there. It's strange how somebody can be the center of your life for years and then become a person you're not sure you're supposed to hug or shake hands with or just nod at. So we smiled, the kind of smile people use when there's too much history and not enough courage. We talked about nothing, the weather, work, traffic, the price of rent, the new restaurant downtown, everything except the thing we were both thinking about. You asked if I was doing well. I said yes. You said that's good. I said you looked happy. You said you've been busy. And there it was, two people who once knew every fear, every dream, every scar, trying to survive a 10-minute conversation. I almost asked if you miss me. Almost. A couple sitting near the window couldn't stop laughing. I remember when that was us, back when time felt slower, back when leaving wasn't part of the story, back when forever sounded believable. We talked about nothing, nothing at all, but somehow it hurt more than fighting, more than goodbye, more than watching you leave, because nothing means it's really over. when neither of us moved, like maybe one more sentence could change everything, but it didn't. You grabbed your coat, I picked up mine, and life kept going. We talked about nothing, and that's what I remember. Not the words, not the coffee, not the silence, just the feeling of standing so close to someone I once loved, and realizing there was nowhere left to go. I watched you walk away, the door closed, the room stayed warm, but somehow everything felt colder. I threw away the letters, deleted the messages, packed up the photographs, even that old jacket you used to steal when it got cold. I got rid of almost everything. Almost. There's a box in the closet behind some winter clothes I never wear anymore. Nothing special inside. A movie ticket, a receipt from a diner, a key that doesn't open anything now. The kind of things nobody else would understand. The last thing I kept wasn't worth keeping, not to anybody else, not in the real world. But every time I think about throwing it away, I stop and put it back. It's funny, people think moving on looks dramatic, like slamming doors, burning photographs, driving away at midnight. Most of the time it's just standing in a hallway, holding something small and wondering why your hand won't let go. Maybe memories don't live in our hearts. Maybe they hide in objects. A friend told me you got married last spring. I said I was happy for you, and I meant it. At least I think I did. Life isn't simple enough anymore to be only sad or only happy. Sometimes it's both, sometimes it's neither. The last thing I kept is still waiting there, bottom of a box, inside a dark closet, like some tiny piece of time that never figured out the story was over. Last Sunday, first time in months, maybe longer. I sat on the floor and looked through everything. Not because I wanted you back, not because I couldn't move forward. I just wanted proof that it really happened, that we were real, that I didn't imagine an entire lifetime. The last thing I kept isn't the object itself, it's the version of me that still existed back then. The one who believed some people stay forever, the one who didn't know how stories end, the one who still saw a future every time you smiled. The box is back in the closet, I know exactly where it is. Maybe one day I'll throw it away, just not tonight. Just not tonight.
I changed a lot after you left. At least that's what people tell me. They say I sound different, look different, carry myself different. Maybe they're right. Maybe losing somebody changes the shape of a person. Maybe that's why mirrors feel strange sometimes. The funny thing is, most places moved on before I did. The diner closed, the bookstore became a pharmacy, the old movie theater downtown got turned into apartments. Even the oak tree near your street finally came down last winter. Everything changed, everything except this house, because this house still knows your name. Not literally, I know how that sounds, but every room remembers something. The hallway, the kitchen, the couch by the window, every corner still holds a version of us. I painted the bedroom, moved furniture around, bought new lamps, different curtains, Tried all the tricks people recommend when they're trying to help, and for a while it worked. Until one random Tuesday afternoon, when sunlight hit the floor exactly the way it used to, and suddenly I was standing 3 years in the past. Memories are sneaky, they never knock first. I found an old coffee mug last month. Nothing special about it, just a cheap thing from a gas station road trip. But I stood there holding it for almost 10 minutes. Not because of the mug, because I remembered your laugh. The real one, the one that always started small, before taking over the whole room. I hadn't heard it in years, but somehow it was right there. This house still knows your name. The walls don't talk, the windows don't cry, but some nights when everything gets quiet, it feels like the past is sitting in the next room, waiting for me to notice. Now I think that's wrong. I think moving on means carrying it differently. The good memories, the bad ones, the regrets, the love, all of it. Not as a wound, not as a burden, just as something that happened, something real, something that mattered. This house still knows your name. Maybe it always will. Maybe that's okay. Maybe every life leaves fingerprints on the places where it happened. And maybe that's all memory is. Not a ghost, not a curse, just proof that somebody was here, that somebody mattered, that somebody was loved. The house is quiet tonight, just the refrigerator humming, the wind outside, and me still learning the difference between missing someone and wishing they were back. Nobody knew, that's the truth. Nobody knew how bad it got. I got good at hiding it. You get enough practice, and eventually people stop asking. I'd show up to work, smile when I needed to, make small talk, ask people how they were doing. pretend I cared about the answer. Then I'd drive home, sit in the dark for an hour, and wonder why everything felt so far away. Not sad, not angry, just far away. Nobody knew I was talking to ghosts, not real ghosts, just old versions of us. Old conversations, old plans, old promises, things that didn't exist anymore, except inside my head. I remember one night I laughed at something on television, a real laugh, the kind that catches you off guard, and for half a second I felt normal again. Then my first thought was, I should tell about this. And that's when it hit me, there wasn't a her anymore. There hadn't been for a long time. Nobody tells you that part. Nobody tells you how often you'll reach for someone who isn't there. Friends kept saying you're doing better. Maybe they were right. I started sleeping again, started eating again, started leaving the house, started making plans. But healing isn't a straight road. Sometimes you wake up free, sometimes a song in a grocery store knocks the wind out of you. Nobody knew how many times I almost called, how many messages I wrote and deleted, how many nights I stared at your name like it might suddenly explain everything. Nobody knew, because I stopped telling people. Not really. Too much happened, too much damage, too many words we can't unsay. I think what I miss is having somewhere to put my thoughts, because for years every thought eventually found its way to you. Nobody knew that losing you happened slowly. Not the day you left, not the last goodbye. It happened in pieces, a little every morning, a little every night, a little every time something happened. And you were no longer the first person I wanted to tell. Nobody knew, maybe not even me. The city is sleeping now, the room is quiet, and for the first time in a long while, I think I'll be okay. Not tonight, not tomorrow, but
But someday I think I'll be okay.